welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a channel prediction reading for the 20th of February. Now, I don't think anyone could disagree that there was quite a lot of chaos around the globe on the weekend. We had marches here in Australia, and I know in Canada, Ottawa, the police brought a lot of conflict to a very peaceful and freedom-fighting situation, and has caused the truckers to have to leave that situation. They certainly need to know they have not failed, because they have caused a lot of other people in Canada, I know, to rise up now. And this is what we have to do. We have to rise up to this tyranny and bring that love, peace, to get our freedoms back. This is the fight of our lives, because if we lose this fight, they will completely control us going forward. Now, there is a book that was written, and some of you may have heard of it, called The Great Reset, and it was written by Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab? Oh, anyway, look it up, you'll find it. And it's very eye-opening and very educating. So I suggest that you go and check that out today. Have a little tap around and go and have a listen to some of those World Economic Forum talks, and it's very interesting. So I'm just going to get back to the reading, and I'll close my eyes and we'll just get started. So this is the start of the finances collapsing. So this is where they're putting on the big squeeze. So if this is the part of this sort of plan, and now we're up to the big squeeze and the financial collapses. So this will be around shares, this will be around interest rates are going to start to rise. There's going to be great big movements in the way the financial sort of everything's going in that financial market. Obviously, there's still collapsing of the small businesses, which is kind of what their plan was the whole time, is so that corporate can start to really build and take over. And I think that's become really obvious. That's still going to be happening in this immediate future. This is all starting to sort of be rolled out now. They're starting to look at the way that they can start to collapse and squeeze out the economy. So they're virtually taking now from the little people. And as we saw in Canada, they froze their bank accounts, and gosh knows what they've even done with the money for the GoFundMe and all this sort of thing. So they're trying to get this financial control, and they're squeezing people out of finance. And that's definitely something that's really strong that I'm seeing, is they're trying to get that control. But they're also very clever still in what they're doing, because they're actually going to be using the climate change and the distractions. Again, they're very good at distracting us when they're implementing or trying to put things into place. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of that talk around climate change and what can we do to help there, and we've all got to play a part and have initiative going forward. And this is what's going to be carrying on in the narrative, well, mainstream media, obviously. But the real story is what lies beneath, which is the collapsing of the finances. That's definitely coming. So if you need to do a bit of research, there's some great people. I think it's Robert Kiyosaki, and there's a lot of people at the moment on YouTube talking about finances and how to get through and what's sort of coming. That can help you a lot as well. So maybe go check out some of those guys to give you some financial tips on how to navigate, the big squeeze that is coming around finances. Now, they're giving me the vision of like storage systems. So I'm seeing like boxes. They're almost like shipping containers, but they're more organized than that. They're more self-sufficient. And this is what they're showing me, where they're hurting people now. So they're setting up things, and I think we've sort of talked about these kind of visions before about camps, but they're setting up camps now for anyone who's going to press against them too hard. They feel like if they can eliminate people out of the equation, they can still maintain that narrative. So that's something to really be aware of too, is to just be very aware of kind of the informations and things that you're giving out as well, because you could become quite targeted during this. Really, this year is going to be very, very challenging year. Everyone's trying to navigate these things, but don't give out a lot of information. And I think we can already say that people have pretty much turned off their TV sets. Anyone that's awake has pretty much turned off TV and mainstream media. We know that for a fact. But even, you know, look how they came after Joe Rogan. I know he's very big and very popular, but we've all been fact-checked. Most of us have been getting fact-checked on Facebook, and God, that's been going on forever. And, you know, if you didn't have anything to hide, you would not be fact-checking. So this is the kind of thing I'm getting, those containers where they can sort of put people for a period. And it's not like they're actually putting you in jail. So it's like this illusion that, well, you're not going to jail. We're just going to sit you here and you have a think about it. But, you know, they're so smart and so clever that they could almost be like indoctrinating you there with like messages. I mean, if we think of the mass psychosis, this is how crazy these elites and things are. This is the kind of thing that they could start to put into you. Like, we could put you in this little facility, but you're not aware that we're playing these subliminal vibrations and messages that are kind of coming through the stream of the music or whatever. Like, this is how demented things are getting. It sounds crazy, but I mean, nothing shocks us after the couple of years we've been through. So this is the kind of thing that they've got sort of in planning. So that's something to be aware of too, is just how crazy this all is. Because it's that division, and we've got to remember it's that division that got us all fighting against each other and creating that anger and that rise. And look, if you check out any of Klaus Schwab's videos, he talks about the anger in people will come up, and wow, what a great prediction, like unbelievable. Anyway, I'll just see what else comes through. And I'm getting, like, this is really horrible, but I'm getting like children are awaiting their fate. So I guess what the message is, and what the guys are actually saying to me is, we have to fight for our kids. Our kids don't have a voice in all this. They have been shut down, locked away. They haven't lived a normal childhood like the rest of us have. You know, we used to ride on our bikes, have fun, laugh. And no kids are having parties anymore. There's like no get-togethers. They're stuck in their rooms and they're on the platforms, which is what they actually want, because they can get all these messages to them through their phones and all this kind of stuff. And we don't even know what's kind of going on at school. That's another thing that comes up is, you know, what are they teaching them in school? They're so particular that kids have to get to school. Gosh, a minute, if I send a note for one of my kids to have a day off, I get the email straight back on my phone, like, why isn't such and such there today? So it's becoming this very regimented system, even for kids. And that's something that we have to be really aware of, is our kids' health. Because moving forward, I think that's what they're saying. This has really affected a lot of kids' health. And it might not come out for a couple of years. It might not come out till some of them are teenagers, or even older. It could even be when they're in their 30s. That's when a lot of people kind of reach those dark places, come sort of pouring out as people get into more adulthood or have their own children. That's when things get triggered. So that's something we have to be aware of, is really taking care of our children's health in this battling time. Now, the Freedom Fighters campaign is really growing. It is growing and growing and growing to the point that I believe it is unstoppable. Like I said the other day, they can't keep putting out the spot fires, because eventually it just erupts into a great big roaring fire that has so much heat behind it, it becomes unstoppable. Now, that is the only way that we can fight back, is we have to unite and we have to come together and we have to stay strong and stay in our power. Now, the problem is they are fighting really dirty. I know that, as I got affected by the sonic devices in Canberra here the other week, where they send the microwave energies at you. And I know, look, in Canada, that's just been horrific. People are really shocked by what went down in Canada. So I think we can clearly see this is much more... Oh, excuse me. People are so tired. The energy I always get whenever... Some days, not always, when I'm channeling these readings, I get this exhaustive energy. People are tired. They have been dragged through the ringer for a couple of years with this whole COVID. And now they're having to stand up and fight for their freedom to get their world back. Like, what? It's like, honestly, it is like being in a movie. It just is crazy. It's like there's this villain hiding and he's controlling all these little people, and they're controlling us. And it's like this breakdown of control. And here we all are down here and we're feeling very powerless. And it's almost like, how do we get that power back? And I think that's what we kind of need to talk to the guides about too, is how do we get that power and how do we stay strong in these times of darkness, despair, dystopia. The tyranny is out of control. We can see that clearly now. So I'm just going to see if there's any tips that the guides can give us on how to sort of navigate this exhausting experience that we've all gone through. Yep, definitely living in the now. So cherishing every moment, enjoying the time where you are at this present. That's very crucial. Getting around other people and finding joy. Getting back to some of our old habits. If you had old habits that you've broken, like from 2 years ago, that you don't do anymore, it might be that you played golf. You might have gone 10-pin bowling. You maybe used to have a coffee with somebody regularly, and all these things have kind of dissipated. They've gone. It's like, why are we not doing any of that anymore? They're the things that bring that spark back inside of us. So that's a message that they're definitely giving me. And they're saying that we need to remain under control. There's no point getting like hysterical and overwhelmed by the task at hand, because that's not helping anybody. You've got to find that way to really ground yourself, to regroup, to look at ways that you can move forward, because it's about vibration, and I talk about that a lot, and the guides are saying that too. This is about the vibration that we're putting out, and that's why when you unite with other people, and I think we can see that in Toronto, and that after the truckers sort of were moved on from Ottawa, it created a movement, and it created this stand in people. But it's that coming together and that energy that can create change. It's like, you know, I said the other day, one person in that Tiananmen Square, that man that was standing in front of that big tanker, that image, that changed a lot of people's thinking. So that's where behind like one person comes this wave. And that's what I was saying the other day about the truckers. They have created a movement that has created an enormous wave, and it has helped to wake people up, for people to see what is going on and that our freedoms are being taken away. So I think that's probably the biggest message the guides are giving us today, is to stay strong, stay, it's almost saying like a team, or stay all united, because that's the energy that can help to take this tyranny and this dystopian society down. If we don't do anything, we will be forever dictated to. So it's very, very important that we stand together, we unite, and we stay really strong in this battle going forward. And look, I do feel like it's going to be a little bit of a battle. The next 2 months are going to be really up and down. They're not going to like us pushing back. But too bad, we're going to do it anyway, aren't we? So look, I hope some of that helps you today. I know this is really challenging. God, I'm exhausted from it myself. It's just been a crazy, overwhelming experience. Like I said, that feels like a very bad movie. And it's like there's the big villain up there in the tower looking down over everyone and trying to control everything. He's not controlling everything yet, but gosh, they're really putting in a big effort to. So look, subscribe to my channel, hit those like buttons and keep the messages going around. Please comment. I love hearing from you guys. It's so great when we interact and we unite, and this how it works as well, energy around the globe. It doesn't matter where you're living. So comment down below, and I will see you in that next video. Take care. Bye.